Hello, D.Ed students, B.Ed students and in-service teachers. Welcome back to English language class. Today our topic of discussion is competencies of an English language teacher. This topic is very important and interesting. It is important because the performance of the students in English language largely depends on the competency of the English language teacher. Hence, the topic gains significance. In this session, we will try to know the meaning of the word competency and also try to understand the concept of self-development, factors that influence self-development and innovative practices in language teaching. So, to begin with, we will try to understand what is competency. Competency is the ability to do something successfully or efficiently. So, anything which we are capable of doing successfully and efficiently is called competence. Now, these are the different forms of competence: competence, competency, competencies. Competency is singular, competencies is plural. Let us move forward. Now, under the self-development or competencies comes the first in the list is communication skills. We all know we need to have effective communication skills in order to develop basic listening, speaking, reading and writing skills in the learners. So, first in the list of competencies is communication skills. This includes soft skills. Now, what do we mean by soft skills? Soft skills are defined as personal attributes that enable someone to interact effectively and harmoniously with other people. So, when we say interaction, that means two people talking, communicating. Now, let us here in this definition, let us try to understand the meaning of two words. One is attributes, the other one is harmoniously. Attributes means qualities. What qualities are required in order to have good communication? And the second one is harmonious relationship. What do we understand by harmonious relationships? Friendly, cordial, amicable, agreeable, peaceful, conflict-free, good-natured and understanding. These are the several qualities a teacher needs to possess in order to have a harmonious relationship between the students. Why we are giving the first place for harmonious relationships and soft skills? Because unless there is a cordial relationship between the teacher and the taught, learning cannot take place. We all know that the teacher occupies the place of a mother. Like a mother, the teacher need to develop relations with the students, have concern for them, and she need to be good-natured, agreeable, peaceful, so on and so forth. It goes on, understanding the problems of the students. Input-rich communicational environments are a prerequisite for effective language teaching. So, there should be enriched communicational environment in the classroom. How are we going to do this? During the course of our discussion, we will try to understand. Now, interaction leads to communication. There should be good interaction and this leads to communication. Now, interaction can be between teacher and material, material and students. So, here we find interaction between teacher, students, students, teacher, then teacher, material and material, teacher. Now, let us watch a video of a classroom communication. Well friends, this is a short video clipping of a classroom interaction which was going on. Here we have watched the teacher giving clear instructions. She asks the students whether they are willing to play a game. Then it is a word building game. She has given a word beautiful and asked the students to work in pairs and build as many words as they can with the letters which are there in the word beautiful. Then we have also watched the teacher moving around and monitoring the classroom. And on careful watching, we can be observing the students. The students were working in pairs, talking together, talking to their partner and trying to write down the words. There is quite it is a quite interactive session. Students are involved in the work and they are trying to write down the words. Now, what we need to observe here is teacher's clarity in giving the instruction and monitoring the classroom. She did not move the students. The students are sitting in the same place and they are working in pairs. And teacher is moving around. Now, we will watch what happened next. I have just taken just 2 minutes, nearly 2 minutes video clippings, which we need to discuss. Now, while you are watching, now the next video clipping which you are going to watch, concentrate on the teacher's language and also her positive attitude. Try to look at the positive attitude the teacher has while dealing with the students. And also we can see how interactive the students are. So, let us watch this video clip.
Keep your pens down. Now we will see how many words you have made. Yes, yourself? 21 words. This group? 25 words. Yourself? 30 words. Here? 20 words. 28 words. And what about you? 21 words. Yes, Rubina? 30. what words they have made. Now Rubina will read out 1 to 15 words. Then afterwards summary from 16 to 33 words she will read it out. Okay? Yes, Rubina, stand up and read that word. Write in your books and make a tick mark there. And also you are going to check whether they have written the correct spelling or not. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? Yes. Rubina.
Well, friends, have you noticed the teacher was saying "piche se aao"? Now she asked the students to read out the words. She found out how many words they have written, and it was found that the highest number of words is 33. And she wanted the pair which has written 33 words to read out. And what we found is one of the girl was feeling a little hesitant to read the words. She was asking her partner to read. Then teacher asked, "What's the matter?" Then the student said, "In the beginning we have written difficult words. They are difficult for her to read. In the end we have written simple words." Then teacher immediately just watch her presence of mind. She said, "Just come from the back. No need of reading from the top. You can read from the bottom." So here, this value of respecting the strength of the student. We have two students in the partnership. One is quite good and other one is little weak. But we can, whenever we do ask the students to work in partners or in groups, it is for the same reason. Some students are little forward and some students have little difficulties. So they take the support of the students who are good in the work. And as a teacher, we try to look into the strengths, even the little strengths which the students is having is very important. Like in this case, the teacher immediately said, "Okay, no problem. If you can read simple words, start from the bottom. Read from the bottom the first 15 words yourself, the other rest she will read." This kind of presence of mind, accepting the strength in the students, building upon the strength of the students is very important. So, whenever we are in the classroom, we need to look for these strengths in the students. We all know that, and we ourselves are second language learners. English is not our mother tongue. It is a foreign language. We are all learning, we are developing. We want to develop ourselves. So how does the teacher develop? What is self-development? It is an urge for learning more and more. Urge for developing oneself by acquiring more competencies, more skills. This is an ongoing, continuous process which every English language teacher has to do. And we need to build from the strengths which the students have. Well, friends, now in the present scenario, students have an urge to learn, they are eager to learn. They need little support from the teacher, a helping hand, so that they can acquire the required skills for the future life. Like I want to say that English is for learning and earning. When we say English is for learning and earning, learning means here the students who are in English medium, who are studying in English medium, have to read other subjects such as science, social studies and maths. They are in English language. Whatever the students are learning in an English classroom should help them to read those subjects also. So the teacher of an English has double responsibility. And similarly, earning. Present day, all the white collar jobs demand good knowledge of English by the individuals. So, it becomes as necessary and it is crucial that the English language teacher plays a successful role in helping the learners gain the competencies required for the future life, future education also. Now, let us watch the rest of the video. Now, before that, let us look at this interaction, student material. Now, when we say interaction between student and material, here the material is the vocabulary item which is given, that is word beautiful, and students are interacting with the material and they are trying to build up the words. Well, friends, it's awesome. The student has written all the words on the board and other students are checking the spelling, correcting, and they were also able to point out that some of the words are wrongly spelt and the correction is made. So, there is a self-learning, self-correction and interaction, students talking to each other, and there are several interactions in this classroom, like interaction between the teacher and the student, interaction between the teacher and the whole class, interaction between the student and the student, and interaction of a student with the whole class. And as I said, interaction results in communication. If we want our students to be effective communicators using English language, we need to give more and more activities which help them to interact and speak in English. One thing we need to remember here is English classroom is the only avenue where the students will speak in English. We are not sure out of the classroom whether the student is using the language or not. Our students are mostly government schools, school students, where the input rich environment at home is not possible. It is possible only in the schoolroom, in the school, in the classroom. So, how best the teacher uses the 45 minutes or 50 minutes of her classroom is really very, very important. And if the teacher's class is in the first period, just try to go before the bell or immediately after the assembly to the classroom for a month and see what difference it makes. Why I am saying this? Usually we are habituated to go to the classroom in the first period after 5 minutes. We think that the students, we believe students will get settled, then we can enter the classroom. but believe me, students will get settled only after the teacher enters the classroom. Till the teacher enters the classroom, there is lots of noise, lots of commotion in the classroom, but once the teacher enters the classroom is silent. And this 5 minutes is very, very important for an English language class. In this 5 minutes, we can have a warm-up session, give an activity, make the students talk. So, if just try this, you can do it as an action research, because we will be discussing about what is an action research. Just do a small research and see. Going to the class before the students, if there is a general assembly, soon after this general assembly, instead of walking to the staff room, just enter the classroom and watch the difference. Is there any difference in the behavior and performance of the students? How best you are able to use this 5 minutes. This you can share in teacher development groups. We will be talking about this, teacher development groups. Teacher development groups help in self-development. The factors which help in self-development of a teacher is, the first one I said, communication skills, soft skills. Then forming teacher development groups. Then comes taking up an action research. Then the classroom practices, innovative teaching practices in English. So, this clipping has clearly shown us that how interaction leads to communication. Let us move forward. So, I was talking about this self-development, an urge for self-development. How we are going to create an urge for self-development? First, we need to love ourselves. We need to love our profession. Here I remember our former president, Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. Great teacher, philosopher, and a great political leader. And we all celebrate September 5th, his birthday, as Teachers' Day. How many of us know why it is being celebrated on September 5th? What I read is, his students went to Radhakrishna, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, after he became the president in 1962, and requested him. They said, "Sir, we want to celebrate your birthday. You are the president and we want to celebrate your birthday." Then Dr. Radhakrishnan humbly refused, and he said, "Instead of celebrating my birthday, you observe this day as Teachers' Day." That is the love he had for teaching profession. We need to develop this passion for teaching. We need to have a great passion for teaching. Then only this self-development starts. Then only the urge for self-development starts. So, let us try to understand what is self-development. The urge for self-development, urge is a strong desire. We need to have a strong desire that I need to develop. I need to use innovative techniques. I need to help my learners so that they become effective users of English language. Of course, this is a challenging job, I know. An English teacher, if we just go for even minimum or maximum, 5 classes she handles. And if we take 30 students in each class, that is, she is molding the lives of 150 students. Then, how is it possible? Time management, we will be talking about that, and simple habits. Keep a diary and write down the names of the students class wise who need special attention. Then work on it. I do not say it is easy, but I say it's challenging, and it's not impossible, it is possible. We need to make a beginning. The more you help the students, the more developed we become. The more techniques we use, that is, our development is increasing. We are growing in our teaching profession. This growth we want. Well, the concept of self-development is learning during the course of career. Whatever we learn during our teaching career is self-development. Like, we may work for 30 years, 20 years, then what development has taken place in me as a teacher, that is very important. And here we need self-motivation. Let's not look for motivation from our outside. We want, let us motivate ourselves and help the students also get motivated by themselves. We need to look for the techniques where the student also gets self-motivation. I was talking about passion for teaching. We need to develop a passion. Being open-minded. What do we mean by this? When we say open-minded, we should be in a position to appreciate the good things in others. Like, there are some senior teachers, our colleagues, who teach using different techniques. We should be in a position to watch, observe, and learn from them. And at the same time, accept the comments which they give us, positive comments, so that we can build on that, we can develop on that. So, being open-minded is really, really important. And now we are aware some of the teachers are giving lessons in English. Friends, really, to give one lesson, they work very hard. We need to work very hard, maybe 15 days or more than 15 days, collect the material. So, if you don't have time to watch the live lesson, these lessons are available in the YouTube. Watch these lessons at your convenience, try to learn, try to develop, try to grow. Being inspirational. Now, how are we going to be inspirational? We look for some inspiration from outside, but we want ourselves to be inspirational. I want to inspire people. We need to pledge this. I want to inspire people. I want someone to look at me and say, yes, because of you, I did not give up. Because you were there, I trusted you, I knew that you will help me. So, I did not quit, I did not give up. So, let us take this pledge. I want to inspire, I want someone to look at me and say, because of you, I did not give up. Be a leader, be a good role model. It is really, really essential to be a role model, because we all know that we need, whatever we do in the classroom is observed by 30 students, and they try to imitate, and habits are cultivated, not taught or caught. So, habits cannot be, good habits cannot be taught in the classroom. They have to be caught. How will they catch these habits when the teacher is using them? Factors influencing self-development. Interacting with senior colleagues, we have talked about it. Teacher development groups. We need to form a group, 4 or 5 teachers of like-minded, form a group, and where you work in collaboration, that is exchange of ideas, prepare lesson plans, prepare material, and talk about the issues, talk about the problems in the classroom, and try to get solutions. Then, when we form a teacher development group, we need to think where to meet, when to meet, at what time, And agenda, topic of discussion. What is the topic of discussion? This has to be planned. Planning is very, very important. Now, do you want to be obsolete or updated? Now, this word obsolete we have learned in the previous class. When we say obsolete, it is outdated. Do you want to be outdated or updated? Nobody wants to be outdated. We all want to be updated. Using classroom atmosphere to promote language learning. So, the 45 minutes of classroom atmosphere should be used for promoting language learning. Using multimedia for language teaching, this we have discussed at length in the previous class. You can look into the video of that lesson. Then here we have action research. We will talk a little bit about action research. This is very important, and it is a small research which a teacher conducts in order to rectify the problems which she finds in the classroom. Identify the problem specific to your class. So, the teacher first identifies the problem. For instance, she finds a few students not speaking in the class, not answering to the teacher. Then she notes the problem, then she analyzes the problem for the probable causes, lists down the problems. Why these two students never answer in the classroom? What could be the reason? Maybe they are shy, or the second reason, maybe they are not able to speak English language. So, once you note the reasons, you will try to find out. Administer a test to confirm the problem really exists. Is there really this is the problem? So, how will you know whether the student is not speaking because the student is shy, or she is not having the input rich English language? We can call the student, these two students separately, talk to the student and see, ask a few questions in English and see whether the student is able to answer. If the student is able to answer simple questions in English, it means it is not the problem of the language, but the student is shy. Then we plan your action program. So, what do we do in this situation? Maybe we say, well, you are speaking so well. I never knew that you can speak such a good English. Then why don't you answer in the classroom? I wish you answer in the classroom so that everyone knows you can speak good English. So, from tomorrow onwards, you try to answer in the classroom. And here the teacher makes a special, keeps the students in her attention and makes a special effort. This effort is only known to the teacher, not to the students. Then with these students in mind, she may ask a few simple questions and look at the students to respond. Once when this is successful, so the plan is implemented, and administer a test to check the progress of the students. So, you have asked the questions and there is a good response, that is the post test. Then write a report and share it with your friends. Why to share it with the friends? So that they also can try more such problems. And teacher development groups will help us here. You can write a report. The report need not be really very lengthy. It can be 1 page or 2 pages. How you started, how you implemented, how you were successful. Sometimes it may not be a success. Then you can ask your colleagues how to make alternate activities so that the student is successful in speaking. So, this is how we can use action research to help the learners with simple problems. Now, we can also write a report and send it to the journals, English language journals, and get it published. They are looking for classroom experiences. So, this way a teacher develops, writing a report to a journal, getting it published, you yourself will become an author, writing an article. Then get prepared for another action plan. Now, Professional development. Professional development is a broader term compared to self-development. Professional development focuses on developing certain behavioral traits like punctuality, planning. Good planning of the classroom time is really very essential. Never ever we should go to the classroom without plan. There should be a clear plan what we are going to do for the 45 minutes. Time management. And this skill we need to develop. We have this skill in social aspects. We want this to be developed in professional aspects too. Being empathetic, being caring, showing concern, being honest and providing right feedback to the students, helping the students to improve with our right feedback. Then taking up activities like role play, language games, formation of English club. We have just watched one of the language game and how productive it is. Then we can form small English clubs. In some schools these clubs are there, and in other schools also. When there is a teacher development group, we get an opportunity to talk what is going on in different schools. Updating knowledge. We need to update our knowledge. We don't want to be outdated. And as I have discussed in the previous lesson, this is MOOC is a massive open online courses. These are free online courses available for anyone to enroll. So this is an opportunity for self-development. You can browse the net, look for the courses, they are free. You can enroll yourself and you can work at your convenience. Blogs. You can create a blog and you can keep your lesson plans, all the material, teaching, learning material for sharing. And we have talked about digital libraries earlier, and you can become a member of a library, online it is, and you need not go to the library, sit at home, look for the books, update yourself. There are many opportunities for self-development, and we need to take a step to initiate. Initiation is important. Using multimedia. Now this is the trend of the day, and we know that by using multimedia we can create an interactive, interesting classrooms, and it is a rich input for the students to learn the language. ICT facilitates the teacher to create an interesting, learner-friendly environment. This is accepted. Now here we notice students sitting in front of the computers and involved with the work. Now language labs for listening and speaking skills. We need to develop skills in using all this technology. And making a competent teacher makes the best use of overhead projector. Now this is the overhead projector. You can write down the exercises on the transparency, which is called just a plastic sheet. Keep it ready and you can display it in the classroom. This is a different mode of teaching where the students, you are taking attendance, you leave this sheet on the overhead projector, the students will be copying. This is a time management. So you can give the work as an extension of classroom. So it all depends on how best you manage your time. And using computers in language teaching, learning and teaching. Using computers in language learning and teaching. We are in most of the schools this is going on. And we know that computers can also help in reading comprehension, vocabulary and grammar exercises. Now let's watch this video.
Do you know where I live? Do you know where I live? Do you know where I live? I think so. I think so. I think so. It's raining outside. It's raining outside. It's raining outside. Where does your husband work? Where does your husband work? Where does your husband work? He works for a travel company. He works for a travel company. He works for a travel company. Do you know where the nearest metro station is? Do you know where the nearest metro station is? Do you know where the nearest metro station is? I have no idea. I have no idea. I have no idea. Don't pretend to be something that you're not. Don't
watch this video. This I have downloaded from the YouTube. Now there are several videos available online which are free, and this helps us. Now the video which we have seen helps to develop listening and speaking skills. The pronunciation, you can look at the pronunciation, you can get exposure to the English language. So try to look for such videos if your pronunciation needs improvement. Watch such videos, try to improve your pronunciation. If you feel that you need more practice in speaking skills, there are videos which can help us. And similarly, these videos can also be used on computers in the computer lab for students' use. So, friends, only the interest, passion and love for teaching profession will help us to develop professionally as well as self-development. If we want self-development and professional development to go hand in hand, we need to create an urge of self-motivating ourselves, trying to improve and develop so that we can help our learners to use the English language effectively for different purposes. Here I just want to end the session with the saying that Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Guru is given such a great place next to God. We are in that position, and a great responsibility lies on our shoulders to mold this student as the future citizens of India, to acquire the required competencies. Unless we develop ourselves professionally, we cannot achieve this objective. So, let's try collectively to work together and help our learners acquire the required language skills. Thank you. We'll meet again in the next session. Have a great day. Bye-bye.